what we do for the consumer. And the very first person I ever recruited in America was Rafael Bastidas. And people go, man, you're so lucky. The first person you recruited, they turned into a national sales director. My first recruit quit. Well, Rafa quit too, about 10 times, right? But every time he failed the test, tomorrow you're going to come back and hear the story. But it took him 4 years because he didn't speak English. When he came from Spain, I mean, Spain, English is not first name. He came from Spain to America. He struggled with the test, but he did that, and even though he had a delayed start, still built one of the biggest teams in Utah, right? Got an awesome organization, national sales director, him, Susan, I got lots of RVPs, you'll hear from him tomorrow, but he's going to talk about what we do for the consumer, and he has a little bit of an accent, not like me, you know. But anyway, let's hear from Rafael Bastidas.
Hey, I hope that you guys pay attention so far where you're sitting here. If you're here for the first time, I remember the first time that I was sitting there. Yes, I'm kind of the poster child of this business. I joined this business 4 times and I quit it 3 times. Okay, but finally I noticed that I was stupid. I actually, the 3rd time that I quit, my sister-in-law, I told her, I said, don't bother me again with this business, with this Primerica thing, because this is the last thing I'm ever going to do. Anyway, it's funny because around a few years ago, she told me this. She told me, you know when you told me that this is the last thing that you were going to do? And I said, oh my goodness. I was embarrassed, right? Because I told that to my sister. And she said, but you were right. Because this is the last thing that you're ever going to do. And it's true. So be careful what you say because sometimes it will come true, right? But hey, I want to teach you about something that is very important. What do you think about education? Is that education great? Okay, it's excellent. Okay, I have 9 kids, okay? I only have a PhD degree, which is a public high school diploma. Okay, but I used to play professional soccer in Spain. To me, school was like, come on, hurry up, I need to go and play soccer, right? But my wife graduated from college. My daughter has graduated from high school. She went to college, and all my kids are doing pretty good. Okay, education for me is important. So don't get me wrong about a few things that I'm going to say about education. Because I'm not against education, I'm against the system of education. What is not fair is that when I was in high school in Spain, like you guys here in the United States, like in South Africa or Mexico, wherever you're from, okay, we learn amazing things. We learn that pi equals what? 3.1416, bunch of numbers behind. I haven't figured out yet the last number, right? Still working on that. Okay, how many planets the solar system has? 9. 8 today, we lost Pluto. Went to work for Disney, right? Okay. The point is that how many planets you plan to visit?
1.
1, right? Thank goodness we're still alive on this planet, right? How many times you use Pi to pay your bills?
Never.
I don't even know how to use Pi. They only asked me 1 time, I passed the test, they never asked me again, right? The point is this, okay? I'm not against that education, the system of education, because what is the difference between an APR and a low rate in a mortgage? How escrow works and what is PMI? What is the difference between revolving debt and a fixed rate and all those things? What is the difference between whole life insurance, term life insurance, variable universal life, and all that thing, right? What is the difference between a mutual fund and a mutual friend, right? It's all the same, right? Hey, are we all going to use those things that I just talk at the end that nobody knows about it? Right. How come they don't teach that in a school? Interesting, right? So we need to make a change. We need to be passionate about helping families. Let me show you something very interesting. Traditional financial institutions, they're teaching us to get our money and go and put it in these traditional financial institutions. They give us really low rates, right? Credit unions, insurance companies, banks. But what do they do with our money? They go and invest it in the economy, right? So they give us low interest, they get high returns, right? Well, what about if you can learn how to bypass these people and you make the money? Why not? It's possible. Most people don't know how to. What about this? Pi equals what? If you're here for the first time, raise your hand if you know what is the rule of 72. Okay, a few people. There's more than one, okay? That they came for the first time, right? The only one knows. Is that interesting? It must be a rule of what? The only rules that I know is soccer rules, right? The World Cup is coming up next week and it's going to be fun watching it. But this is the rule of 72. It says that if you take the number 72, it tells you how many years it takes your money to double. I want to double my money quickly, right? Very slow. So look at how it works. Imagine that you have $10,000 investment. And I teach this a few weeks ago in a school in in elementary school, ninth grade, and I teach it as the 3 little pigs. Okay? Mama, big pig, retired and give to the 3 little pigs $10,000 each. And told them, hey, you better save the money. In 48 years, you're going to retire, and the wolf retirement is coming. If you're not prepared, you're going to be shorted. So the first pig went to bed. Put the money at 3%. 72 into 3 equals what? 24. Every 24 years, money double. In 48 years, with 40,000, what can you do? Just build a hay house. Right? So they have money. Now you have money. Right? So, I mean, they understood that very clear, right? Well, if you put a 6%, what can you get 6%? Let's say some kind of bonds and stuff like that, okay? Look at what happened. Most people think that you're going to double, but 72 into 12 equals 12. I mean, into 6 equals 12. Where do I shoot? Right there? Okay. So 160. That's much better, right? But in 40 years from today, inflation is going to kill a lot, right? Because it's not a lot of money. So you can build a state home with the stakes, right? But a smart pig went into mutual funds, put it at 12%. And he got a whopping $2.5 million. Built a nice mansion with a swimming pool. So you tell me, what pig do you want to be? Because we're all going to become pigs. Yes, kidding, yes, kidding. How can you win the rules of a game if you don't know? How can you win a game if you don't know the rules, right? How can you win soccer if you don't know the rules of soccer, right? Most people, they stay offside. You know about soccer when you know what's an offside, right? So then we've been taught about this in the school, right? What about this? Without introducing us to your families and friends, how they're going to figure out? Isn't that interesting? I just helped a family. He had $10,000. He's 57 years old, something 57, 58. He had $10,000 invested at 0.15% return in a nice bank, okay? Because they were helping him. Yeah, right. Okay. How do most people manage their money? How do they manage? Actually, they don't. They can't. They don't know. I mean, how can you fix a car if you don't know mechanics? Right? How can you take care of your health if you don't know nothing about taking care of your health? How can you take care of your finance if you have no clue about finance? Make sense? Yep. So this is what we do in primary. We help families. Imagine somebody that is 35, 34 with 2 kids, okay? Average family. You go to their home and you find out that they have 28 years left to pay the mortgage of $165,000. I'm going to say the numbers in case I don't see in the back. $13,000 in 3 credit cards. And what do you think that most people do with their credit cards? They're trying to pay faster, or they just pay minimum payments? Minimum payments right now, right? 58 years to pay off, okay? After they sit down with us, with America, we show them with the same money that they were paying, exactly the same money, we restructured their debts, and now they're going to be debt-free in 20 years, including credit cards and mortgage, and save $86,000 in interest. Yeah. Is that better? Yeah. Who should know this? Everybody, right? You know what is interesting? The same family that we visited that had the money in that one place, okay? They have a plan to be out of debt, the mortgage and the debts, by the time that he was 80-something, in 2036, okay? Now, we did the program, 9 years, house, and everything paid off. Wow. How will you feel if you can go to a house that you can do that for the family? Is that awesome? Look at this. They also have income protection, $100,000 in each, nothing on the kids, for $250 a month, okay? They love the family, they try to protect, but they don't know that they have something better out there. That's what we do. We triple, almost quadruple the amount, $500,000 on him, $400,000 on her. Why? Because if you have only $100,000, but you have a mortgage and Bob passed away, what is Susan going to do with $100,000? Almost nothing, right? What about we can give him more protection, some of the kids, and save them $155 a month? Would that be good? Yeah. I mean, I promise you, man, this is awesome, right? I mean, I used to paint houses for a living. What in the crap? How a painter can come over here and teach this? Isn't that awesome? I didn't have to go to college. That's good too. Okay. Bob and Susan also paying $243 for our home insurance because it's up, right? So we work with the top 22 leading companies in the industry of our home insurance. We did a quote in 10-15 minutes. Actually, the son of this family that we help them, okay, we save them $45 a month in car insurance. So the whole family is getting benefit from this Prime America thing. Isn't that interesting? Look at what we did. We helped them to save $65 on our home insurance. That's good, right? What about this one? Retirement. They got $20,000 in an IRA in the bank, right? Because banks, they have IRAs too, right? That's what this family that I helped, they had it. They are what? Contributing $100 a month and a 3%. By the way, can you find a bank who gives you 3% right now? No. Actually, this money was invested in a city at 0.15%. That was a city. It wasn't even 1%. What in the crap? So what about if we can look at this? They're going to retire with $107,000 by the age of 65. They are 35 plus 30 is 65, right? So in 30 years from now, what is $107,000 going to do? Retire for a month? Something like that, right? What if we can go and teach them, hey, listen, what we're going to do, we're going to roll over into a mutual fund. We're going to increase to at least $300 a month versus $100 because we free up a lot of money from there. We're going to accumulate it around 10%. So by the time that you retire, you can be in that 1% box that we just showed. You can retire with $1 million. Okay? So to wrap it up, how simple it is to sit down with somebody who is in A and teach them how to move to B. How simple would it be to make that person to move from A to B? No vacuums, no filters, no pants, no shampoos, no nothing like that. This is better, right?
Right.
Now, if you help somebody to move from A to B, are we helping or hurting? Who's the number one beneficiary? The family. Guess who is the second beneficiary? No one has yet. All the financial institutions that they want us to provide for them. We have almost 100,000 soldiers. We are the Walmart of the financial services. Everybody wants us, right? Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Who is the third beneficiary? That's the people that we work for the company. And you're going to see how we get paid here. This is a very, noble business that you can help families. This is not one of those things. So be careful who you sell your ear to. Because you listen to your friend Joe, who's more broke than you, he doesn't want you to win. Okay? He wants you to be broke too. Okay? Because if you win, you make him look bad. That makes sense? So pay attention to that. So yes, for the last